Hello. We're live now?
Yes, we are
Guys,
live. Good evening. Oh man, I'm
good
so happy
evening.
to see you. And our guest is already in the green room. Yeah, man, how are you doing? Kumusta?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm all good. As mentioned before, I'm all good. My eyes is much more better now with my eyeglasses. Did you see me? I'm kind of much smaller now. I have like gone down for about I think five kilos, right? So yeah, man, I have my shirt already like loosen up.
For me, I
So
think I slimmed down about 10 kg in 2 months.
Awesome. All right. I know you travel around, right? So, yeah, man. I think for the next episode, we'll be talking for that one also, right? So, we'll already have our guest present in the green room, the founder of Vouch Protocol, right? Are you not entertained? Are you not hyped up, right,
Good
with
talk,
this
right?
protocol upgrade, right?
We had him on the stage, and right now we are getting some updates and new cool stuff is happening right now.
Yeah, indeed. I think you did have him on your channel, and I did have also Jaxa right last year. I think
Yeah.
maybe 6 months, 5 months. I think after the launch of August, right? So yeah, man. I think the founder is there. You could talk to him. He's very responsive, right? He's very responsive. He's just literally his hands is on the like the boots on the ground, right? The guy is really hands on with the project. He talks to the community, right? So I know there are lots of people talking about Richard Hart coming back on stream. What do you think about that? Well, anyway, the founder is here, right? He is the guy that he'll be trying to explain, right? So I don't know if this does just be a hype of this protocol upgrade was really the math will do the trick, in which we'll be having a price pump, right? A price pump on the Bounce protocol, right? So as you can see, the core tokens are up right now. I think PROVEX is up. Did you buy the dip with PROVEX?
Yep, definitely bought some.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Well, anyway, guys, if you're just watching, this is your man Nakbi together with Asian on Pulse. We are live with our sock beds right on YouTube, on X. Please like, share, and subscribe on the channel. We're doing this every 7:30 p.m. Malaysian and Philippine time, and I think Jexa is also you have the same time zone. And brother, maybe they will be asking why we are on our 17th episode. We did have a April Fool stream last week, right? So yeah, man, we didn't go on stream. We're just fooling around. That yeah, the course are going into $1.
Yeah,
Nice,
I
nice one.
was going
It
to
was
one,
yeah,
but
man. It
that's
was
the
your
dream that we are hoping to achieve, right? But it's
yeah.
definitely achievable with
In
builders like Vouch pushing forward, even though the market condition are kind of uncertain, and the focus are shifting towards a lot to AI and to quantum computing and others, right? So there's a lot of noise out there, but at least our DeFi builders right here, we are still standing here. So that delivers a very important message. We are still here, sound and loud and consistently, right?
yep.
Contributing in every ways we can to be talking about this ecosystem, to be talking about this industry. So if you are tuning in, thank you for tuning in and keep on subscribing and support because your support matters to us.
Yep, it did. Yeah. Before we'll be having Jexa, let me do this, brother, and yeah, I will be having after this short clip. All right, let's have it on stage. None other than Jexa. Jexa,
Hey,
kumusta?
hey
Tito,
guys,
Tio
thanks for having me
Jexa.
on.
Have you remembered the term Tio Jexa? It's Uncle Sam. It's Uncle Uncle Jexa.
You keep
Yeah.
saying it, and I've got to be honest, I've forgotten what it was.
That's Uncle. It's Tio. It is one of my on board here. We have a small voucher. I call it the Pinoy voucher community, and he called you on the chat. Tio Jexa, thank you for dropping by. We're just saying hello to you. All right.
Thanks for having me. First of all, guys, I really appreciate all the support over the past couple of years. You're always out there. You're in our Telegram chat promoting things and pushing things along and pushing me along as well. Like there's things that you request and I go, okay, yeah, that's cool. Let's get it moving. If the community wants it, we'll get it moving. So I do appreciate all the effort and the support that you bring to the vouch community for sure.
Yeah, I mean, indeed, and I want to take this opportunity also, brother, for the builders who are really building, right? So I know you guys are not so much into the drama with all these things happening on the background, especially the down market, right? I know you guys are building, so I think it's timely with this protocol upgrade that you have brought into life, right? So I think it's live, right? And later on the show, Jexa will be explaining all the things, the ins and out of this one, and why it is just we can ask the question: is this just a hype of this protocol to upgrade? Does really the math will do the trick in doing this? So later on, Jexa, the founder, will be trying to explain all these things. Now, chat, if you have question, our chat is open for any questions. And again, we are live with our SOCMEDs on YouTube and might as well be liking and subscribing. And we are doing this. This is me part, right? As Jexa is doing all the fundamentals. These are fundamentals, right, of a crypto community. You have builders like Jexa here. We have a founder on my other side. It is Munex, right, which is from Malaysia. I am not a founder, so I'm here. I'm using my should I say my energy in talking to people, reaching out to other communities, right? So that's the best I can do for people to understand what really is the pulse chain at all these apps, decentralized apps that are building on the layer one, and that is a true DeFi chain, right? Would you agree, guys, that we are a DeFi chain, at not just some hype chain, like you have this, right? Every now and then you have a like a downtime with their chain, right?
Yeah, I think we're a misunderstood chain and a misunderstood community a little bit. And what I mean by that is, yes, everyone wants to make money along the way and be part of the price go up on the project that they're involved in. But we're also here for a bigger reason, which is that DeFi reason that you mentioned. And I don't think a lot of the outside communities understand how we do that and why we do that. And we don't have a big bunch of VC founders sitting behind the chain. Everyone gets out and builds their own stuff and works hard on their own back. So it makes it tough sometimes because you don't have deep funding available, but it means that it's a lot more community driven. And I think that's what people misunderstand about the Pulse Chain community.
All right, indeed. I agree on that. One, man. So we're not VC funded, right? So there are no VCs, and we have to also understand. Yeah, our founder is also not dumping these tokens on top of our heads, right? So I think Jexa had a good point in which, yeah, man. I think definitely
I think
he's in point on that one.
Game will be different somehow in the future, right? Because look at Bitcoin. Back then when it all started, there's no VCs, there's no such grant support from all the individuals or institutions and all, right? So I think eventually we will move towards that, and perhaps when that really happens, we will definitely attract a lot of builders, good or bad, we don't know, but it's to the mass of builders to come up here to build. So yeah, I mean, if you want to compare, yes, we might be more focused on community driven and lean towards a DeFi native chain compared to other blockchains out there.
You said something really important, that it brings all sorts to the chain as well. So the fact that it's DeFi means anyone can come and launch something, and that means you get some good things and you get some bad things. But hey, that's what this world is. It's that you don't need permission you don't have to ask permission to build anything or do anything. So we end up with it's an interesting community because we've got people from all corners of the globe Some are here for good intentions, some are here for bad intentions. So you've got a whole melting pot. And that's like you said, sometimes we get a bit of drama in the community, and in particular with our project, we try and stay out of that. We take the approach, if the chain itself is successful, our project is successful. And if our project is successful, we hope we bring success to all the other projects around us as well. So that's sort of the way we approach the community, and we tend to not get involved in all the clout chasing and drama that goes on, which is, I'm fine with that.
Are you not entertained? Yeah, there's some way I did, man. So, but anyway, it is what it is, right? Now let me go. Let me circle back to this topic, right? In which our topic for this evening, guys, is, let me show this on our, no, on our screen, right? So vouch the price pump, right, with the capital pool, with the capital and standard full upgrade. Why are you laughing, Jackson?
Hey,
the price, the
as
price.
a founder, I did not say it's going to pump, okay?
All right, I can think you have to do some clickbait on that one, right? But anyway, yeah, man, I think you have to understand what is vouch on the, before going into the question, right? What is vouch on a nutshell,
Yeah.
mate? Yeah.
So in a nutshell, it's liquid staking for validators. What that means is, very much, if you're familiar with Ethereum liquid staking protocols like Rocket Pool, Lido, there's a couple of others out there as well. Effectively, you can stake your Pulse. It gets picked up by validators and put to work validating all the transactions on the chain. And as a reward for staking your Pulse, you get a share of the native yield that is produced by Pulse chain every block, essentially. So you get to participate in that yield. So it's yield without having the risk of being in liquidity pools, trading, or anything like that. So it's a lot more stable sort of yield. And at the moment, I think it's about running at about 10% per annum or something yield on your Pulse. So that's sort of, in a nutshell, that's what Vouch is as the liquid staking component. And what sort of happened over time is there was always a long-term view of, okay, that's great to have the staking protocol, but how can we give the community ownership of the protocol? And then what other smart things can we do along the way on the road to getting governance in place and things like that? So everything we do is about how do we capture the value in the protocol for the users that are participating in it, and ultimately get to the end point where the community is in control of a lot of the settings in the protocol, so that they can vote on what they want to see happen.
All right. So thank you for that one, Jaxa. Yeah, Asian, do you have any question for Jaxa?
Sorry, I think I would like to get into deep dive to know about the upgrades and all. I already knew what it's about since back then we already had a conversation about it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I would like to know what was the upgrade about, and the things that piques my interest is only more towards how projects work together with projects. So I always knew that liquid staking validator is a good thing. I mean, if you have liquid Pulse, might as well just put it to work and gain some yield, right? So that's one. Second, I see that there's like staking and all available, but I would like to explore next. Maybe we can have it in our private conversation to know like what can be done to provide as a yield generator, and as well as because when I look it up, I just had a look up on that screener. I see that Vouch did a lot of liquidity pair with a lot of different tokens, different core tokens, and even Peacocks and all. But I understand the point why you pair with Peacock as well, because Liberty Swap is also shipping hard and developing hard. They are really doing the pie and burn, and cross chain swap became, I think, majority's one of the top choices to go to Liberty Swap. So they are gaining real fees and real revenue to back Peacock. So yeah, I mean that's my part. But yeah, I think like again, like what we said, the spotlight is on JAXA. Would like to maybe you can share a bit more about the upgrades later. But before that, maybe MacB, do you have any question?
Yeah, let me do some public service announcement before going into the topic. It's a very serious one. I just want to point out this on Twitter. I think Jaxa had posted its one also on the Vaults protocol. So let me share this one, guys. Yeah, with this, all this comes out there. So guys, be very careful on this one, right? So, oh man, what happened to our? Yeah, let me do this on the other side. We'll be on the other side. There you go. So yeah, man, I just want to read this one out. This is a fake. This is a fake email. So don't fall onto this one, right? So I think I have seen this on chat, right? So this is a fake clone site of the official vouch.run site. So please be very careful that one, guys. So I just want to do this public service announcement for a scammer warning. So when JAXA, or should I say the vouch protocol, is not sending any email to anyone in the community. So this is a public service announcement for people to understand there's no such thing, right? So just to be clear on this one, so it's not coming from JAXA. Again, as I was saying, this is a DeFi protocol, so yeah, man, please be very, very careful with all our assets, right? Again, you are the network, you hold your keys, it is permissionless and all this stuff. So it is a different ball game when we talk about true DeFi chain. So yeah, man, I just want to put this thing out for people to understand that, yeah, man, please be very careful out there.
That was an unusual one. You don't often see email as the attack vector on a lot of things on Pulse Chain. And I don't even know who they'd be emailing it to be honest, because vouchers, unless you've got an emailing list of people that are associated with the vouch protocol, it doesn't make sense. But look, I don't know how they operate. What I have found is as soon as your protocol gets to a certain size and there's a bit of a community around it, and they can see that there's some people that are in the Telegram that are asking questions, they're not sure about things, they tend to narrow in on a lot of those users, and they will go and then generate the fake websites. And it's not just Vouch. You go, I know Pateas has got a fake one, and there's numerous others where they'll just literally clone your website, and you've got no control over. You can't stop them doing that. It's just so easy for them to do that these days. The email thing I'm not too concerned about, because that's a bit of a hard attack vector for these guys to use. They'd have to really be targeting the right users. But what's more concerning is the fake Telegram groups, or people impersonating me in Telegram and contacting other users. And that happens in every Telegram group has the same issue. They try to impersonate the moderators or the admins of the channels. So I think the best thing you can do is you just got to be super vigilant, especially if you're on Telegram. Don't answer DMs and things like that. Like you said, you're in control of your keys. There's no help desk that's going to help you out. If you want to stay safe, stay in the main chat groups and talk with people publicly in those chat groups. Don't go to DMs.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that, Jaxa. So yeah, man. Chat. If you have question, please put it in our chat. Yeah, I'll be putting this one on chat. If you have a question later on the show. So is the music all good, brother?
Yeah, I was just responding. Then yeah, no, it's heaps better, man. That's really good.
Okay, awesome. I have put it. Yeah, man. Cool. Are you gonna show your screen?
If I share a screen, that might be the way to go. So just give me a second. I might have to put my glasses on as well so I can see what's actually going on. But
sure, actually, you can share your screen, brother.
Yeah, I'll just get it set up and then I'll see if I can share this. Let's go.
Stay safe from your private.
Okay.
Come again, brother.
Stay safe.
I'll put these on and I'll be able to see what's going on now. I feel right at home with everyone wearing their glasses.
All right, cool.
Right. What I'll do is I'll do a very quick history lesson. I don't want to go over too much, but when we would have caught up last time, we would have talked about this flow diagram. And I won't go into all the detail on it because I'd rather focus on the new things we've got rather than the old things. But the main takeaway from this diagram is the two revenue streams. So we've got validator revenue and token revenue, and I'll quickly touch on those. So the token revenue is basically done on volume on the vouch token. So as there's volume moving in and out of the trading on the DEX, it generates the fees, and those fees get put straight back into this what we call our distributor layer, which I'll talk about in a minute, as a form of revenue for the system. So that answers your question about why would we go set up liquidity pools with the core tokens, but also things like Peacock, PROVEX, yeah, things like that. So what we're trying to do is, obviously, if you get a token like Peacock and it's going up in value because they produce real revenue, much like Vouch does. So I think that's a good system to be in. They're getting revenue from their fees, and they're putting that into the token. So for us, that's a bit of a no-brainer. Cool. That's the kind of project I'd love to pair our token with, because it works on a similar sort of way. Is we're bringing in this revenue and it's going towards boosting the token price. So that's really good. And let's say we've got one pool that's really performant and both the Vouch token and Peacock are going up in value, then it creates arbitrage opportunities between all the other pools we've got. And those arbitrage opportunities generate volume on the Vouch token. So that's the reason why we do that approach. But we're very particular what we pair the Vouch token with for obvious reasons. Like if you pair your token with something that turns out to be malicious, or that there's something that goes wrong on that side, then you suffer. Your token suffers, I should say. So you've got to be careful in how you do that. So that's one revenue stream. The other existing revenue stream was the validator revenue, and where that came about from was all the rewards that the validators produce from producing the blocks on Pulse chain. They go back to the Pulse stakers. But what this revenue stream here was from was all the priority fees. So as the chain gets busy and people are paying their gas fees, and you notice how the price of gas goes up when the chain gets busy. Well, if one of your validators produces the block, it gets those, what we call the priority fees. So all the priority fees from these validators is going back into the distributor layer as well. And at the moment, we probably get at least one in every 10 blocks that are produced on Pulse chain. So that's quite a stream of revenue coming in. But there's two big things about both of these revenue streams, and that's that they're both demand-based. So you need volume on the token to produce the fees, or you need people using the chain to get the priority fees. Now, the thing that isn't demand-based is the rewards from Pulse chain. That's a consistent payout. Every block, those rewards are paid out. Doesn't matter if no one's using the chain, those rewards are paid out. The only variable on how much you get paid out is how many validators there are. So obviously, if there's a bigger pool of validators, you get a smaller percentage of those fixed rewards that are coming from the chain each day. So, but if people are staking up a lot of validators, that means there's less supply on the market as well. So it's just a bit of a dynamic that goes on. Main takeaway is these two are demand-based. This one is not demand-based. And what we wanted to do with the next part of Vouch was take advantage of this and see how we can incentivize the whole ecosystem with something that is not demand-based. So adding something that little bit extra that can help grow the protocol. Any questions on that bit so far? That's a bit of a history lesson.
I am all good, brother. All good.
All good?
All good. Chat,
Cool.
if you have question, please put it on chat, brother. Go ahead, brother Jax.
All right, so let's fast forward to where we ended up. So the main question I was getting, and McBee was one of probably the loudest voices asking for this, was, okay, I've got
I
my
just, I just trolling to you, brother.
So
All right.
everything I've built is just for him.
Yeah, man. I just want to put this one out. I think, and later on, I love the claim button. Anyway, yeah, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so obviously people would deposit their pulse and they'd get given V pulse, and they'd get their vouch off the market as well. So they're holding vouch, and everyone was going, "Oh, great! What can we do with our tokens now?" And I was saying, "Well, just hold them, because you're getting rewards for holding your V pulse. You're getting all the rewards from the chain, and as a vouch holder, you are also getting a payout of a little bit of vouch and a little bit of pulse. So you didn't have to do anything clever with it. It was rewarding you anyway. That's fine, but we think we can make it better. So we went back to the drawing board, and there was wasn't just McBee. He obviously wanted to see the staking, but there was other people that said, "Oh, have you thought about doing this, or have you tried this?" And I can't remember. There was one particular person in the chat that said something, and I went, "You know what? We have thought about a pretty clever approach to that. Let's put a bit more time and energy into it." So the first version of staking, we never released. We went, okay, I don't think it's where I want it to be adding as much value as we can. So that never got made public. We went back to the drawing board and we came up with the concept of capital pools. So I'll have a little chat about how this works, and hopefully you can see where we're heading with it. So in our new revised version of staking, we have 3 pools. We have capital pools, we have standard pools, and you can think of standard pools as like a single-sided staking sort of arrangement. And liquidity pools, you're probably all pretty familiar with them. You go provide liquidity on a DEX, you get your LP tokens, and then you go drop them into a pool or a farm, and you get rewards for doing that. So that's the 3 pool types that we're capable of doing in Vouch now. The liquidity pools are on hold for the moment. All the back end sitting there, we just haven't enabled those liquidity pools because we want to focus primarily on these first 2 and get the community used to them first of all. So let's have a look what the capital pool actually does. So we spoke about the 2 sources of revenue being token fees and the validator priority fees. So the capital pools now introduced non-demand based revenue into the system. And hopefully I can sort of go through how this kick starts a flywheel and it rewards everyone in the ecosystem. It doesn't matter whether you're holding vPulse, whether you're holding Vouch, or whether you're staking or not. But if you participate in all parts of the ecosystem, you will get maximum benefit. So let's have a little look about how this actually works. So when we bring in these 3 forms of revenue, we are doing buy and burns on the Vouch token. So if you hold the Vouch token, you are a beneficiary of that because we're buying Vouch off the market and we're destroying it, so it will never get sold. And we were doing that really heavily for the last 6 or 8 months. We've burnt over probably close to 3.5% of the supply. What have we got? So 3.3% of the supply has been torched already. So it was a really aggressive burn rate we had with that. We've since tuned that back a bit with the release of these staking pools. But what we do is this revenue all goes to buying and burning, building liquidity in the pools. We can grow the yield you get on vPulse, and that will take a little bit of explaining, but I will explain that later. Holders and reward, so we get rewards for holders and stakers. So not only if you just hold Vouch now, you get rewards, but if you then stake it, you get more rewards. If you stake your vPulse, you get more rewards. And we also use a portion of the fees coming in here to create more validators, because more validators means more priority fees, and more validators also means more capital yield. So if we keep that flywheel spinning, we're constantly grabbing value from outside of the protocol, so in the form of rewards or fees from trading or the priority fees, and we're building that back into the protocol. Now, some of the cool things that you can do with the capital pools, and I really want to explain this because it's quite important to understand how this bit works. If you're a holder of Pulse and you stake it, you get your V Pulse. And if that's all you want to do, that's fine. You just hold that and you will get roughly 10% per annum yield for doing that. So you've done nothing else other than deposit your Pulse and holding V Pulse. Simplest way you can use the protocol. If you want to be part of kickstarting this flywheel, you can stake your V Pulse. So you pop it into one of our capital pools and you stake it. But what happens in a capital pool is something a little bit unique. Rather than you get your full 10% of your yield, you give up a share of that. So we call that the pool rate. And let's just, for tonight, let's just keep it simple. Let's just say you decided to keep 50%, you put it in the pool and the pool rate was 50%. You would keep 50% of your normal yield, but you would give up 50% of that yield, which would go as a new form of revenue coming into this distributor. So it's a third bit of revenue coming in here. Not demand-based, because no one's actually doing anything for that yield to be injected. Okay, it's just yield that's coming from the chain. Now, what we do with that yield is what's important, and what you get in return is what makes it worthwhile for you to do that. There's no point in giving up yield unless there's a larger benefit for you to do that. So as you give up a little bit of yield, we build more validators. So that's going to produce more of our fees. And the more revenue that we get from people in the capital pools, it will go off to buy and burn more vouch. And I said we were burning, I think we had the burn rate set to something like 50%. It was pretty large. So 50% of the revenue coming into the system was burning the token. And what we've said is, okay, if you're prepared to give up a little bit of your yield, how about we go buy vouch off the market? So it's price positive for vouch, and we will give you a big chunk of that vouch if you're willing to give up some of your yield. What we think will happen is the rewards because remember, a lot harder to move the price of Pulse than it is to move the price of vouch. So if we're taking that economic energy and pumping it into vouch and still removing vouch off the market and it's still getting locked up in stakes, then we think we can push the price of vouch a lot harder by using that capital more effectively. So if you're prepared to give up a bit of capital, I think you should be given rewards in the token, plus we push up the price of the token with the buy and burns, and whatever rewards you get are straight brought off the market. So we think that's a price positive thing for vouch and for people that are staking their VPulse. So these guys actually earn vouch, and they do get a feed of VPulse as well. Now, just one bit of nuance to this. I said if you gave up 50% of your reward, then you get paid in vouch and a few other things. Now, you're not truly giving up 50% because you get paid in other ways through the system, which I'm happy to go into if we want to dig into the weeds. But it's just redirected through another mechanism. So it's not, that's the headline figure, but it's not actually how much direct yield you're giving up. Now, the nice little loop that we can get going is when we introduce the standard pool, the standard reward pool, which is a vouch staking pool, so not a VPulse staking pool, a vouch one. So you're staking your VPulse, you're earning vouch, you can then stake that earned vouch, and it will get given the holder rewards that you would normally have for holding vouch, plus it also gets a share of the rewards from the whole ecosystem as well. And I'm happy to go into that in a little bit more detail, but basically you end up with a nice little loop where we're encouraged. So why would you stake your vouch, and what's the benefit of doing that? If people are willing to take their vouch off the market, that removes sell pressure, obviously. So they're prepared to support the price of vouch by staking it. So therefore we go, okay, we think you should get rewarded for doing that as well. What it means, and if you hold vouch, we already said that if you hold vouch, you get paid more vouch, and you also get more VPulse. So you can then deposit the VPulse back into here if you like, and you can just keep this perpetual loop going here. Okay, I've waffled a little bit there, guys. Is that, you're still following me there, or any questions on that?
Still following? Yeah.
Yeah, still following here, brother.
That's
You
right.
have the spotlight for this one for the community to understand what is all about, right? So maybe
Yeah.
later on we can ask question after
Cool.
your presentation on this one. Cool,
So what
brother. Go ahead.
So this is a very simplified way to view how the ecosystem works, and it's great for when you're sending out posts on X and things like that. But I think it's probably worth having a look at a little bit of the detail of how you get all these rewards, and then I think you might see if a few light bulb moments come on, and it might sort of gel with what I've just spoken about. So let's have a look how the revenues flow through the system, and that might give you a bit more of an understanding. Now, we did touch on, I think we might have touched on this back in the day when I was originally on, but now knowing what I've just said, let's revisit this. So I mentioned that we had those two forms of revenue which were demand-based. So that was the token revenue, so from the vouch token, and then the priority fees from the validators. So they were the two forms of revenue that were coming into the system. So now we've got that third form that will be coming in. What's more important is, okay, well, where does this revenue actually go? And what it actually does, it falls down into what we call our distribution layer. So 5% of the total revenue coming into the system goes to providing liquidity. 25% goes to creating more validators, because they're the things that generate us more protocol fees. The liquid staking protocol fee pool, this is what I meant by, although the headline figure says you're giving up 50% by staking in a capital pool, it's not a true 50%, because you also get this sent back to you as well. So if the token's going through a volume spike, you get more back as well. So you get to be the beneficiary of all of the revenues in the system. So that headline figure is not exactly how much you're giving up. You do get a lot back. This is just like an insurance fund. We've got the treasury just for funding things on the protocol. And this it's a very tiny amount. That's basically just to pay gas fees for what the protocol is doing all the time. So that's the main split of a lot of the utility part of the protocol. Now the reward part, so all this adds up to 100%. So this is where we go, okay, well, how is everyone getting paid all these rewards? Where's it all coming from? And that's really important, because a lot of protocols will launch, and the only place that the yield is coming from is from an infinitely mintable token. Okay, so we don't do that. Vouch, all that's ever going to be minted has been minted. So how do we pay the rewards? So we've got three reward buckets. One is for vouch, one is for VPulse, and one is for Pulse. So let's just pick on the vouch reward pool. So 43% of all the revenues coming into the system will drop down into the vouch reward pool. Then so that's what you can see, this figure here drops down into here. And then what we do, we've reduced our burn from the 50% down to 5% of the total. So what we're doing is, instead of just buying the stuff off the market and destroying it, now we've shifted that to reward the stakers. So that's where all the yield is coming from. We're still buying it all off the market, and the revenue's getting encapsulated in the system. So we're capturing that value in the system, but we're giving it to the people that we think need to be rewarded for their actions in the protocol. So if you're a staker, you'll get a fair chunk of those rewards coming back. And if you're a holder, we said if you hold Vouch, you still get a bit of a reward. So you'll continue to do that. So that's sort of how we break up the flows in the system. Now we do the same thing. So that's for Vouch token that's coming into the system. We can pay out rewards in VPulse. So here the stakers are getting a bit of VPulse, and the holders of Vouch are getting a bit of VPulse as well. On the Pulse side, we can pay out Pulse rewards, but we don't. It's just a feature that's there. If we ever want to enact that, we can. I don't think there's any sense in paying people out in Pulse rewards. They can always, if they want, they can redeem their VPulse for the underlying Pulse anyway. So I don't see there's any sense in doing that. If there's some particular use case for using that in the future, we will, but we think we can achieve everything we need to by just using these two main pools. Okay, any questions on that, Vid? Is that sort of have I explained that well enough where you can see where the flows are coming from and where they're going to?
Yeah. Asian, you have
Loud and clear.
question? Yeah, it's
Alright.
clear on my end, Jax. It's mate, it's clear on my end. But I have here on chat. Maybe chat later on in chat. You can ask the question. I have dropped on the Telegram and on our SOCMed. So please be part of the conversation, as we will be. You could directly ask the founder himself, Jexa, on this live stream. Guys, if you're gonna hear muffler sound, welcome to Muffler Town, and you will know that is your man MacB Crypto. So I'm very sorry if you're gonna hear some muffler sound in my background. Anyway, go ahead, brother.
Cool. So that's the broader concept of everything we're going. I'll maybe we'll just quickly touch on this. We already have, but just to make it a little bit clearer, with the capital pool, there's two tokens you can stake. One is VPulse. The other one, if you want, you can bring Pulse and stake it, but it instantly gets converted into VPulse anyway. So effectively, it's VPulse that's getting staked, but we do allow you to bring in either token. And for doing that, you get paid out in the Vouch token and the VPLS token, as we sort of alluded to here, where you're getting, the stakers are getting Vouch token and VPLS token. So that's how that one works. If you stake Vouch, removes Vouch off the market, and once again, you get paid in VPulse and Vouch. Now, just to distinguish between the two, you get your normal holder rewards. So if you just were holding Vouch in your wallet, you'd still get those rewards, but you get more rewards if you stake. And we shuffled around. We did tweak the numbers a little bit. So if you're just a holder now, you do get slightly less percentage, but we hope everyone will come and make use of the staking. And if they do, they get a lot more. So on a net basis, they end up well ahead. And even if you just continue to hold, but we get the other people come in and stake the VPulse, or you come and stake your VPulse, we think you'll end up with a slightly smaller percentage of a much larger figure. So I think even as a holder, you would be better off anyway. And then the LP pool, pretty straightforward, like I mentioned. If you, let's just say you provided LP on the Vouch Pulse pool and you had LP tokens, you would bring and stake them, and then you would get a share of the Vouch and the VPulse that are going out to the staker pools. So that's pretty much the three things in a nutshell. Where we can probably go from here, and what would be nice to use maybe the rest of this session for, is to show you a bit of the user interface on how you interact with the pools, and more importantly, just talk about how we migrate, because a little bit of history. We launched the pools, the first capital pool, probably a week and a half ago, I think it was. And technically it was all fine, but one thing it was doing incorrectly was miscalculating the rewards. So we had to actually try and get everyone out of that pool so we could relaunch a new pool. That proved to be a little bit harder than what we thought. We had 2 or 3 people that were just, for whatever reason, weren't contactable, and we couldn't get them out of the pool. So we've had to relaunch the pool. So we've got to show you guys how you can get from the old pool to the new pool. It's pretty straightforward, but it's just made things a little bit more convoluted than what we would have liked. But I'd rather do things safely than try and do workarounds. So that's the position we're in. So we're as of today, we're in a position where we can relaunch the capital pool. It's been on pause for about 5 or 6 days, but we're ready to go again and get this back up and running. So maybe I can sort of talk about that a little bit. And you may have some questions about that. I don't know if you want to fire any questions about that particular process at me at all.
Sure. I have a question on that one. Um, you have mentioned about, yeah, on the capital pool, right? Is there something that we can do in the future if we have that kind of glitch is gonna happen? Like you could do it on your end, and we will be asking on different chat groups or posting on X, right? So maybe, yeah, man, maybe you could expound on that one. What is the workaround, or should I say the solution for that one, for us to have
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
have that difficulty and staking? And I think there's, I think 9 million in there. That is one. I think 9 million VPLS that
Yeah.
is not and still unstaked.
Yeah, there's 2 stakers that, for whatever reason, like that. It's the beauty of decentralization, but it's also the curse of decentralization. I don't have anyone's email addresses or
Indeed,
phone
indeed,
numbers or anything.
indeed,
So,
indeed.
yeah, so you can't contact people directly. So basically, you've got to broadcast a message and say, "Look, guys, we need you to take some action," and you've got to hope that they take that action. Now, in this case, that would have been a nice, easy path for us to do if we could have got everyone on board, and we nearly did. We were so close. There was 2 people we couldn't seem to get to budge, and it just meant we had to go to Plan B and relaunch the pool system, which is fine. Not a big issue, but just would have been nice to have a clean separation and just not have to do what you'll see I've done in a moment, where I've had to sort of provide 2 user interfaces to be able to get through this. To address your question, it won't happen again. It was a one-off thing that was incorrect on that particular pool when it was launched. So it won't happen again. The developers have changed that. The auditors have looked over it and went, "Yep, it's good. It's not going to happen." So we're fine with that. Like I said, we could have. There's other little workarounds we could have done, but we wanted to make sure that we were being as secure as we possibly can. And the advice we had from the auditors was, "Oh, look, if you can't get everyone out, it's best to then relaunch." So we've done that, and that's fine. Much rather do that and know that everyone's safe and the protocol's solid. So a little bit of extra messing around, but we ended up where we ended up. So what I'll do is I think probably tomorrow morning. So what do we, maybe say 12 hours from now, I'll launch the new user interface. And that allows people to interact with the old pools to unstake as well as the new pools so they can restake. So I'll give you a quick demo on that in a moment. The pools aren't, there's still a couple of other little switches we need to fire off before we get all that launched. So don't go interacting with them until you've got the official go ahead. But I'll quickly show you the process of what you need to do if you're in one of the old pools. So what you would have seen previously if you came to our staking pools tab. So this is our normal user app where you'd come and you'd stake all your Pulse and get your VPulse. what we were running last week, we had the vouch staking pools and we had the LP staking pools. This says coming soon, so we're not enabling those pools yet. That will remain that way. We will enable this pool, and we've done all the testing and everything this evening on all of this, so it's ready to go. However, if you're in one of the old pools, you can see we've got a little sign up here that says the pool's been decommissioned. What that means is you need to unstake from the old pool and then come and restake in the new pool. So I think we've made it as simple as we can. You can do everything in the one user interface. You just have to flick between the two tabs to do that. You can't make a mistake here. Staking is actually disabled, so there's no way you can end up in the wrong pool. This is purely if you need to get out of an existing pool, then you can come and unstake. When the pools are up and running normally, there's a 3-day cooldown period if you've got vPulse staked, and a 5-day cooldown period if you've got vouch staked. To unstake, it's instant. So you don't have to wait the 3 days or the 5 days. So as soon as you click unstake, what will happen? So you'll come here, you'll put in an amount. So you do it obviously on this tab, but the process of unstaking is click on the unstake tab, put in an amount, click unstake, and then what will happen, so I've deliberately left it this way so you can see it, is once that transaction is processed and the unstake is ready to claim, the buttons will change and they'll look like this where you can claim the unstake. So it's a 2-step process. Unstake button, and then give it about 5 or 10 seconds for the chain to process that transaction and reflect it in the UI. And then this button will momentarily go red and then it'll go green. And that means, cool, you can claim your stake, and then it'll just be in your liquid balance and you can go back and then restake into one of these pools. Okay, I wish we didn't have to do that and we could have made it one click, but when you're dealing with DeFi type stuff, you've got to have approvals and all that kind of stuff. So it's not as simple as we would have liked it. But
question.
Yep.
The approval is only one now. You don't have to reapprove, or should I say, always be clicking approve? Because I think that was one of the kind of question on chat. If you kind of redundant, or you just have to approve once and yeah, you're done.
Yeah, so we take the approach that less is best. So if you come in here and you want to stake vPulse and you click on approve, it's going to set your allowance to 10 because that's what you've put there. Now you can manually change that. Some protocols just go infinite, and I think that's just way too dangerous. So we take the conservative approach, and if you put 10 in there, we assume you only want to stake 10. So if you go approve 10, or you're staking, if you come back then and say, I want to do another 5, well, you're going to have to run that same approval for that. Now, if you're a savvy enough user, you can click the approve button, and when your wallet pops up, you can manually edit the amount of the approval you want to give. Okay, so if you don't understand how to do that, then just stick to what this is doing for you, because that's the safest approach. But if you're clever enough where you know how to manage approvals and things like that, go at it. Do whatever you like, whatever you're comfortable with doing. So yeah, I think that's the better approach. I think all applications should take that approach where they only get you to approve what the transaction amount is for. I think that's the safe way to do it.
Just a follow-up question on the one, but kind of not related on this one. I just want to ask the question with regards with the for like the previous one, or should I say the first one, you just be holding a vouch, then you'll just be dripping automatically the vouch. Is still working, or still that kind of, you have two options, right? Maybe you could expand on that one for our viewers or who are watching right now.
Yeah, that's a really important nuance. So if you if you just click on the buy vouch button and you go buy a vouch off the market and you don't do anything else, it just sits in your wallet, then you will still get the holder rewards. So you'll get a bit of vouch and you'll get a bit of VPulse. You'll get more vouch than you'll get of VPulse. So it's a nice little bonus just for sitting there and doing nothing. Now, it doesn't make sense to, if you then go stake it, we think if you're going to stake it, you should get your staking rewards, but you should also get the holder rewards. So what you see on this particular pool is you see the staking rewards that you're getting, but you also see the holder rewards that you're entitled to. So you don't lose your holder rewards if you're in the staking pool. You actually get to double dip. You get to keep your holder rewards and you get the extra bonus of the staking rewards. I think that makes sense, and we want to encourage people to take advantage of the staking pool, so we're making sure we incentivize people to do that. So as you're earning VPulse and vouch, you can claim those rewards, and let's say you earn some VPulse, you could come over here and stake your VPulse, and as you're earning your VPulse and your vouch from here, you could do the same thing, claim that and get the vouch and put it into the stake over here. So that was that loop that I showed you. Where was that? That was that loop I was saying you could do. So as you're earning your rewards from the various pools, you can deposit them back in the other pool. And if everyone's doing that, we're keeping this flywheel generating more and more, and you're locking up supply. If you're putting it in here, then we're putting buy pressure on vouch. You're getting paid more vouch. So there's a nice enclosed ecosystem that we're building, where we're capturing the value in the ecosystem, but we're doing a little bit more than that, because we're getting revenue streams that are coming from outside of the ecosystem. So the yield from the chain and the priority fees from the chain are getting injected into the ecosystem. So it's a closed loop that contains the value, but with a feed of more value coming into the ecosystem.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying on that one. So I think we have here a chat. I think he was mentioning about the flywheel that you were talking about, right? So, or the water wheel turning, everything should compound on itself. So thank you so much, Retrostatic. Hi. Yeah, is that Retrostatic? Hi. So I think, yeah, man. Thank you for dropping by on chat. So chat, if you have question, please put it in chat. We are live with our Sockmed on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, right? On our page, on my end, right? On my page, that is Hex Philippines. So again, if you have questions, so we have Jexa here on the show live. So if you have question, please put it on chat. All right. Thank you for clarifying on that one, brother, for the holder and also for the people who are staking it.
Yeah. No, so I know there's a lot of moving parts to vouch, and that's why I try and do the simplified diagrams to just get people to want to delve in a little bit more and understand what's going on. There's some really cool things we can do in the ecosystem depending on what's going on in the broader crypto space. So as we move through different market transitions, we can increase whether we're burning more vouch or adding more to validators, or like we've got giving more rewards. There's so many different things we can adjust, and that's where I want to be, is having the community make those decisions and vote on those sorts of things. Like you said at the very beginning, we've been in a pretty rough patch in terms of the whole of crypto. It hasn't been the most buoyant of times, but there's still a lot of people that are still building things out on the chain, and it can sometimes feel like you're putting in all the hard yards and nothing's happening. But all this stuff that we're building now, when we get the good times come around in the market again, that's when you get all the benefit from all the hard work that you've done over the bear market period. And it's not just Vouch doing that, it's the Liberty Swap guys, Pateus, the Vault guys. Like I know there's heaps of
Switch,
Switch, yeah,
Switch. Yep, big
yep,
Switch.
yep. There's so
Brendan.
much building going on. Um,
Munex also, brother. Munex.
yeah, Moonex. Like this, that's the beauty. Like everyone's worried about this little bit of drama they see on X, but what they're not focused on is how much value is getting built into this chain. I think it's the is it the ramp now guys. There's a whole bunch of things that are getting built. Like we've got all these cool pieces of the puzzle, and when you get a day like we had today, where you see Bitcoin bump up a little bit and ETH bump up a little bit, you see everything else kick up as well, and you go, okay, so we're in that period of the market where um, we're at the hopefully we're at the bottom of this particular part of the cycle, and we can move up, and all these cool things we've brought and all these built and all the hard work that's been done over the last couple of years comes to fruition. So that's why I hang around and why I keep building on Pulse Chain is I want to be part of building that future ecosystem. And that doesn't mean you stop when the market's down. It means you just keep going and building, because we've got a vision at the end of it. And you don't get there if you have 2 years off while the market's deciding what it wants to do.
Yeah, man. Nicely said, brother. Nicely said. I have a question here on my Pulse newbies. Yeah, I have a Pinoy question. So, Tagalog yung question, right? So, possible kaya, sir, mag-buyback? He's asking if is it possible to have a buyback on the vouch protocol? So, that's the question. Big shout out to the Pulse newbies here in the Philippines. Thank you so much for the question.
Yeah. So is there a buyback on the vouch token?
Yeah, I think so. That's the question. Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah.
That's the question. He's asking if we can do a buyback like Peacock is doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do, and we've that's how we've burnt 3% of the supply. We're not just torching the supply. We're buying it off the market and then burning it. So all that is positive for the price, because you're first of all you're doing the buy, and then you're actually destroying it. And what the pivot we've made with the release of the capital pools is less about just burning it all. We still want to buy it, and we'll continue to do that. But rather than just burn it all, we're pushing it to liquidity pools. We're rewarding the stakers. So rather than just destroying that vouch, we're giving it a use case where we reward the stakers. In the capital pool in particular, they get heavily rewarded because they're really important. If they come and stake their VPulse, that means they bring in more economic energy that's not demand-based and pushes the price of vouch up, because we've got rather than our 2 demand-based streams, we've got this third stream coming in, which will just keep buying the price of vouch off. And we hope, we've done some modeling on what percentage of VPLS holders we would like to see in the staking pools. And look, if that's successful and we get people want to come and participate in that, that's when that flywheel really starts to kick in. And when you can see vouch go up in value, irrespective of what the rest of the market is doing, we think people want to come and get rewarded in the vouch token. So it's important that if we can get, rather than just destroying the supply, let's use it in a better way that encourages the kind of behavior we want to see in the protocol and get people supporting the protocol. So that's the whole approach we've taken with these new staking pools. There's no point having staking for the sake of having staking. And that's why we held off on the launch of the staking pools. Unless they have a way of building value into the ecosystem and attracting value, more value into the ecosystem, there's no point doing it. So that's the whole reason why we've done it. Is we want to build the value for anyone that's part of Vouch.
Okay, thank you so much for that one. So yeah, Pulse newbies, yung I'm speaking in my language, yung tanong nyo is yung Vouch protocol is practically buying from the market and burning or searching it or burning the token. So there you go, Jexa.
Mhm.
You heard directly from Jexa. So there's really a buy and burn off the market. You're gonna buy it off market, then search or burn that supply. Thank you so
E-
much for that one.
Even adding to a liquidity pool is effectively a buy off the market. So if we're bringing in Pulse into the distribution layer, and then we've got to be able to put that into a liquidity pool, we've got to then take at least half of that value of the Pulse, go buy the vouch to match it with, and put it in the liquidity pool. So even adding to liquidity pools it's price positive for vouch because you have to do that trade.
Okay, we have another question here on chat on Facebook on Messenger. He's asking if Vouch could be more vocal on X, or should I say much more um omnipresent like Peacock is doing.
Yeah. Yeah. The short answer is yes, we definitely need to be. I guess I'm heavily involved on the tech side as well, so I spend a lot more time on the tech than probably I should, getting messages out on X. But hey, it's
The
a community.
marketing.
Yeah, it's a community effort as well. So and that's what I was giving you a shout out before. Is you're very vocal on X and constantly tweeting, and it would be great to see other community members get out there and do that as well. It shouldn't be purely on the team to get out there and do that. This is a community, so I encourage anyone, if you're part of it, get out there and make a little bit of noise, and we'll give you retweets. And but you're right, more presence on X is important. I think what we've found in the current market, X has gone pretty quiet. I think a lot of the views are down, even on YouTube and things like that. The views are down across the board. Now, that's not an excuse. That's just where we are in the market. And maybe that's when you need to be pushing twice as hard as when it's quiet like that. You probably should be making more noise. So, yeah, take that on board for sure.
Guys, make some noise, vouchers! Are you still alive? Oh, man, indeed, man. This is one of the extended bear market that I have been. I mean, in crypto for like 10 years, right? So I think the 4 year cycle is dead, right? So yeah, man, make some noise. I think this is the best time to onboard people, to make your project well known, right? So it's kind of more of a marketing, right? Even Richard Hart had been saying you have to market this one. You have the good tech, right? And even
Yeah.
Richard Hart is giving all these right tablets, right? So yeah, man, you have to do your part, brother in arms. These are the brothers in the trenches right now, as you can see here. These are the faces right now. Anyway, thank you for that one, Jaxa. Yeah, Asian, you have any question?
Well,
And
I think for marketing, yes, community efforts, you are the network, right? So when it grows, the whole ship grows together. So yeah, I mean, for me, I just have a few questions. Like again, the strategy to tap into so many different liquidity pairs. How do you manage to prevent arbitrage bots and MEVs?
The short answer is they're not necessarily a bad thing. They are going to, they're present anyway. If we can push one particular pool out of range, so it creates that arbitrage opportunity, and a bot's going to bring it back into place, we get the volume anyway. So naturally, pools are going to get traded within and out of all different times, and that's naturally going to create arbitrage opportunities. It's hard, like you can't not have that. That's what makes an efficient market, is having bots around the place, or humans in some cases, where they notice an arbitrage and they snap it back into place. So it's actually a market efficiency thing. It's good to have that. What we can try and do is just maybe push a pool out of balance to force a bit of arbitrage and get those volumes. Now, obviously, you don't want people taking a big hit on slippage and getting like a MEV attack. Like that's a different story. If someone's doing a silly trade they don't realize, and we've seen it, some really big ones recently where I think some guy was buying Arve or something like that and took a haircut of, I think he'd done something like a $50 million trade and got
It was kind of
say it again.
50 million, yeah. It was a 50 million and he got like
he got like 600 grand back for it or something, didn't he?
Yep, indeed.
It's crazy.
Indeed.
So
for USDT.
Yeah. So that's obviously not cool. Like losing 50 million on a trade is not what you want to see happen. Obviously, that's an extreme example, but but that comes down to user experience as well. If a user, if they're clicking a button that says they're going to do 98% slippage, then you've got to wonder why they're doing that. So that the MEV thing's a little bit different. What has just launched on PulseChain is a block builder, and I think I need a little bit more time to sit with, okay, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Should our validators participate in building blocks, like using a block builder, because that is then ordering transactions to extract that MEV. Once again, there's good and bad in that. It's going to get extracted at some point. It just comes down to who's the extractor. It's been nice not to have that on PulseChain, because having block builders does introduce the problem they had on Ethereum was the OFAC compliance. So if the US government comes and says, well, we want you guys to not process this type of transaction, then they can go after the block builders. So that wasn't a good thing. So it's been nice not to have that on PulseChain and not have that concern. But as PulseChain gets bigger, we're based on Ethereum, we're going to have to deal with that. So yeah, that's still an emerging thing for me. I'm still thinking about that a little bit. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
I mean, at the end of the day, we are trying to drive more revenue so that it can reward to the ecosystem, right? So something that have always been on my mind is that how can we bring yield, steady yield, and decent yield from maybe like Ethereum back to PulseChain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like Aave, like Pendle Finance, there are so many yield generator that we can actually look into and then bring it back to the PulseChain holders. Yeah, so I think it's cool, and it can be done with like a collateral or a leverage kind of play as well to correct.
And that's a valid point. So, and I'm not sure who it was. Someone made a post on, like I posted about launching the pools on X, and someone replied saying, "Oh, that's really good, but how can we attract more capital to PulseChain?" And you're right that we've got to find a way to, we've got to have something enticing enough to bring capital flows into PulseChain, and that's either users migrating their funds from Ethereum or another chain and coming to play in our ecosystem, or like you've sort of mentioned, is there a way we can capture some yields from other places and bring that into the chain? And I think we've got to be constantly thinking about how we can do things like that, and particularly with a focus on Vouch is, I think with the launch of these pools, we've done a pretty good job about building the ecosystem and capturing the value in the ecosystem and bringing in another form of revenue. It's still PulseChain based revenue. So I think you're right. The next step is, well, okay, how can we get external revenue that's not part of PulseChain and get that into the system? And I think the Liberty Swap guys do that pretty well to some degree. Like they're taking fees from value as it moves off of PulseChain, but they're also getting value from funds coming into PulseChain and injecting that into their token, for instance. So that's definitely one good example, is sitting on in between the networks and capturing value there. Look, I'm all ears if people can see other ways where we can engage with other protocols and bring those funds back into PulseChain, and in particular into Vouch. yeah, happy to have those sorts of discussions for sure.
Yep, cool. I mean, it's more of a extra option for holders, whether it's vouch or any, like let's say I own a lot of Pulse aside from staking, to just the yield that we are just being able to earn from the current validators, but
Yep.
we still hope to drive extra revenue from elsewhere. So
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, I would say majority of the people who are doing the stakes or involving, a big part of them are not so, I would say, more delayed gratification kind, but
Mhm.
um, that leaves us the position to find out more decent yield from trusted and safe protocols to bring it back to them for people who wants convenience. I would say they maybe hold Pulse, they hold ETH, they hold stable coins a lot, right? They would want to get their assets to get into work. Just that I think at the end of the day, can vouch become something like a vouch vault aggregator where you provide stable yield, you provide different yield for different assets, and at the same time they are able to become a holder of vouch and vpulse, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is one direction that
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the underlying technology that Vouch was originally built on, so the liquid staking component of it, that does actually do that. So they, the Staffy guys, they have staking on not just Ethereum but on other chains as well, and that flows back into their protocol. So that's all possible. Basically, what that comes down to is you've got to be able to fund all those developments, and you've also got to find the opportunities how you can do all that. So if you can find the opportunities, that's half the battle. Then it's okay. Well, now we've just got to put in the work to develop the tools and the connections to go cross chain and do all that sort of stuff. And up until I reckon the last 2 years, cross-chain stuff's been quite difficult. I think that's actually getting a lot better now. I think there's a lot more tools that allow you to do a lot more cross-chain stuff and interact with protocols and things like that, cross-chain. So that's good to see. I think that's going to open up a bunch of opportunities. And if you've got something that you've got in mind, yeah, more than happy to sit down and see if there's a way we can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much something some of the builders in my region that they are exploring into this, basically. Yeah. But again, another difficulties that I have faced for Pulse Chain is that we are lacking some infra to actually support all these works. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it does make it tricky, because obviously if you're on Ethereum, you've got the benefit of the last, whatever, how many years they've been going now. I can't even think, was it 16 years or something ETH's been around? And it is still to this day, outside of Bitcoin, it is the largest pool of liquidity in crypto. If you're a company of any size, you've got to choose a chain to build your infrastructure on, most people go to Ethereum, or if you're like an exchange like Base or anything, you're doing on the layer 2, which backs onto Ethereum. So a lot of tooling that's 1.5 decades of tooling that's been built on Ethereum, and what the bigger thing is on Ethereum is the amount of VC capital that sits on that chain. That's what makes a massive difference. And if you know anything about that world, they have their incubators and things like that. So if you start a project and you're brought under their umbrella of a particular VC, then you'll instantly have all the connections and tap into all their network, because they want to see their next project flourish. So the best thing they can do is connect you to all their other partners and businesses. So we do things a little bit different on PulseAsian. We don't have that VC network, and I don't know that. One day we might. It's a double-edged sword. I like that everything's done by the community on Pulse Chain, but it just means you don't have those deep pocket companies coming and investing millions and billions into development on the chain. I hope that we can build enough of a community and we get a good rally up in the market and things start to flourish for Pulse Chain. And when the people that have been in early start to actually generate some wealth from it with projects they've invested in and built in or built for the chain, and value grows, then that frees them up to invest more funds into the chain as well. So you look at people like Eric Voorhees and all those early guys that got into Bitcoin early and ETH early, and the reason why they're able to do very large things now very quickly is they got the benefit of the value of the original things they built growing substantially. So when you're in a position where you can do that, that makes a world of difference. So if you've got a bit of a war chest of capital, we can do some pretty cool things. If we can build out what we've built out without VCs here, imagine what we can do when there is a lot more wealth flowing through on the chain.
That's right.
Pulsicans, let's be more friendly with the VCs, guys. Oh man, you don't have to shit talk all those people in Ethereum, man. I see a lot of them. We should be encouraging them to to move into this one. Yeah, as Jax had mentioned, it is a double-edged sword for us here in Pulse Chain since we don't have that VC, right? Please, guys, man, we should love them and welcome all those guys from BNB, from Ethereum. Oh, enough with the S talk, right? Shit talking, man. We need the money, man. We already have the good tech, right? So yeah, man. Thank you for expounding on that one, Jaxa. Again, guys, if you're watching to this one, we welcome you. This is the Pulsican guys. You are in good hands with these people right here. This is the builders. You have the founder, right? So if you're tuning in right now, yeah, check out all the infrastructure. So there's the D apps on our chain, right? Again, that is pulsechain.com. All right, pulsechain.com. All right. So I just have to plug that one. All right. All right. Yeah, chat, if you have question, I think we just have 3 viewers on our YouTube. Thank you so much, guys, for watching right now. I have put the question on our Telegram, and I was asking, but I think there were all crickets in there. There were crickets on
Well, if you've watched
Telegram chat.
this stream, you're one step ahead for tomorrow when we launch the capital pools. You'll know that that's all happening and how to migrate across.
Indeed. Yep, indeed. We have a question here on our chat. Not here on our on Telegram, but on my messenger. When will the liquid? What's that? Liquid. Sorry. Let me. LP token staking pools when launch. All right. When launch. No expectation, guys. No expectation. 2 more weeks.
Yeah. I don't have a date on it, and the reason why I don't is obviously I want to see the capital pool get up and fired up, and I don't want to distract people from that core purpose. So I want to see those get bedded in. I want to see the people that are in the old pools migrate across and make sure everyone's where they need to be. I think if we can focus on getting the capital pools ramped up, then I think we'll see some good things in the protocol. LP pools they're a little bit tricky in what value do they bring. Like, it's great to see an LP pool support. Like, if you put it this way, if you put your vouch tokens into an LP pool, you are supporting the protocol. Okay, you're adding liquidity and depth of liquidity and whatever. So that's definitely a good thing. And you should get, if you're going to take that risk, you should get some reward for that as well. So we totally recognize that. If there was some other way to make that a revenue stream as well, I would like to investigate how we can do that. If there's a way we can build that in so that it's a bit more additive as well, rather than just supporting an LP pool. Is there a way we can capture some of the value there that helps bolster the protocol? So if anyone's got any clever ideas on how they can do that, that's fine. And we can bring in other types of tokens as well. So it doesn't have to be all of our pools. We can gear them up to use different tokens as well. So if there's a token that we think brings in revenue some other way that we can bolt onto the system, and one I'm thinking of in the future is maybe something like the Vault token. So I don't know if you've been paying attention to Vault.
Yeah, I've seen Vault of Fast Abdul, and I think he's
Yeah.
using VPLS as a form of a collateral for, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe you could
exactly.
expand on that one. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Vault is a lending protocol. It's a multi-collateral lending protocol. So you can put VPLS in there, Pulse, one of the other staking protocol. Their liquid staking tokens are usable as well. But the good thing is there's some underlying mechanics which I've had a lot of discussions with the Vault team in the background, and I know what they're trying to do. And they've got some really good ideas about how their protocol is going to work. So I'm excited to see that come out. I'm lucky enough I've had a chance to have a look at the front end and can actually do a bit of testing and staking on that. Now that's something I think is worth. Okay, well, how can we take what's happening on Vault and bring that across to the LP pools or something? Is there some cool things we can do there where we use maybe one of their tokens that bring in revenue? So I'm just whilst it's nice to have the LP token staking there, I want to explore that a little bit more before we get it out. What I don't want it to be is be extractive of the system. If I do something, I want it to be additive to the system. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Percent. Yeah, let me go on chat. Looking forward. Rhetoric mentioned looking forward to tomorrow. Indeed. Me also. I think we all are, right. So again, it is retrostatic. Sorry, not rhetoric. Retrostatic high. Stake your farm token and dedicate some of that revenue to vouch. Indeed, good point there.
Yeah.
Retrostatic. Indeed. So this is the Vault 369 of Fast Abdul. Fast Abdul, maybe you could hook me up with Fast Abdul. We could have him on the
Yeah.
channel. That would be awesome to talk for builders.
Yeah, for sure. He is probably one of the most active people in terms of streaming. So yeah, I'm sure he would have no problem jumping on and having a chat about all things Vault and just having a general chat with you guys as well.
Yeah, man, that would be awesome. Cool. I think he's there for the tech, right?
He's there for the tech.
I'm here for the tech. I'm here for the tech.
Okay, so he's one of the people that I know is working hard through this bear market and building things, and I'm lucky I've been able to have a lot of conversations with him, and I know what he's up to. So he's putting in the hard yards now, and I think our protocols will work quite well together. There'll be a lot of synergies there. So I'm looking forward to when that gets out in the wild. And same with the Switch guys. They're busy in the background. So there's lots of cool stuff that are coming, and you'll see that on our user interface we integrate with Switch as well. So when you go to the buy vouch button now on our UI, it'll bring up the Switch dialogue so you can trade through.
Sorry for that one. So yeah,
Right.
sorry for the habal for the background noise, guys. This is embarrassing. So yeah, go ahead, Jexa. So you were saying.
So that little
this
mode.
is the
So that's supporting the Switch guys.
Switch guys, all right.
And actually, okay, here's something for you. So that is additive to our protocol as well. So the Switch guys enabled obviously you pay a fee when you do a trade, and they've got a feature in their decks where a portion of those fees goes to whoever's operating this front end. So when you come and trade on the vouch protocol, so if you're not buying vouch, let's just say you're swapping from, I don't know, Pulse to Peacock, and you do it on the vouch front end, there's a portion of the fees actually go back into our system as well. So if you want to support vouch, you can come and trade using the Switch UI, and that will inject a little bit of the fees you pay will go back into our as a form of revenue into our system as well. So it's normal fees on any decks, but what they're doing is a fee split with the people that are hosting their little widget there.
Yep, indeed. So
Yeah.
you guys, you're watching right now. If you have $1,000, you could buy around 86, close to 87 million vouchers of the moment, right? So yeah, you could. You don't have to go to another tab, right, or to another should I say URL. You could directly buy on vouch, right? You have the dashboard, you have the stake PLS, withdraw, dashboard, staking pools, and you could directly buy vouch using the integration of the widget integration of Switch of Brandon. Yeah, man. So these are the guys that we want to talk on Pulse Asian TV. These are the builders guys. So I think fundamentally, if you have a metric, right, I think it's one thing to have a metric is to have that fundamental things who are the builders on a layer one chain like vouch, right, like Switch, right? All these other like Fasabudul of I think he has also INCD, right? So he was the one also of
Yeah.
having that one a lending protocol on that one. So yeah, man. So you guys, if you have $1,000, you could buy around 87 million vouch, and you could stake it, and you could help the vouch protocol by staking it, right? So and doing so, you could have earn by just holder by being holder of that one, and also by being part of the pool. So I think it's a win-win if you're gonna be staking it, right? But I think Jax have explained.
I was helping someone today, and they hold a bit of vouch, and I said, "Oh, you realise you're getting paid every day for having that?" And they didn't. And when we went and checked on their transactions, it was just you could see this stream of income just coming in. They weren't even aware that they were getting it all. So yeah, nice little hidden benefit.
Yeah, indeed. I think they were asking is where does the yield come from, right? So I think
Yeah, where does
it's a good
that's the most important question to always ask. If
yeah,
people can't
indeed.
see where it comes from, you've got a problem.
Yeah, indeed. If you don't know where the yield come from, right? So it's a good thing that you have like an uptick, right? You have a uptick with the vouch. Oh, sorry, I have a power outbreak here, brother. I have
Uh,
a oh man, that sucks. I have oh man, I'm very sorry. I have to turn off my video. I have a power problem here. So anyway, guys, chat if you don't have any more question. Yeah, I say, oh man, I'm literally off right now, brother.
yeah,
Just a
on borrowed
suck,
time.
man.
Thanks for having me
Yeah,
on,
man.
guys.
Yeah,
No,
just
man.
nice.
We were talking about. Oh, I have a power back. Ah, thank God. I have a problem here, right? So I have a problem. Me and Asian were talking about him and how about the prices over there? Are the fuel prices are skyrocketing, right? And let me go back. If you are into mining and you have a problem like here in the Philippines, better use vouch by having a liquid mining protocol like vouch. You don't have to mine it yourself. It's very hard, especially in areas in which we have that constant power outage. The practical thing that you can do is use vouch, liquid mining. You don't have to understand all these in and outs, all these technicalities. Just use the vouch protocol, and in doing so, you will be having a yield in the form of VPLS and also vouch, right? So less problem. So there was a one asking how can I be part of the because personally, I was planning to have also my mining rig, right? So I think it's
Mm.
it's hard for me if I don't have a solar setup, right? So we have a very big problem with a fuel crisis that is happening, especially with the na, right,
Yeah.
the war in Iran.
Sure. Yeah.
So we have a problem with the Strait of Hormuz. That's the strait in which the fuel coming in here in Asia. And I think Asian, they have a good, I think,
Mm.
they have done with their government, since they're doing some subsidies around here. You could buy around, I think, how much that one in dollars, I think close to $4 a liter. That's expensive. You could buy that land for $2. We have doubled it, right?
Mm.
So yeah, man, I was talking about the power failure, and yeah, man, it's a good thing, especially if you want to earn some yield, right?
Mm.
And I think one thing to consider is to go online, to use blockchain technology, in which you could earn literally passive income, right? So
Yep.
I know SEC is kind of, the SEC, right? The
Mm.
regulatory body is kind of, they're like not saying the passive income, but that's the
Mm.
reality of it. You could literally earn a passive income by just holding vouch. If you don't want to stake it, you could literally be dripping vouch that will be directly put
Mm.
into your wallet, right? So these are the things you have to understand, and these are the ways also, right, uh, to profit by using
Mm.
blockchain technology. All this yield farming, all this staking farming that you hear in this stream, as Jaxa was pounding a while ago. So
Mm.
guys, if you're gonna put your money, put it in crypto right now. And I think this is the opportunity of a lifetime, in which we have an asset that will not be inflated to eternity and beyond. We have a scarce asset, right? So not to mention, it is permissionless, censorship resistant, which is the main function of having a blockchain technology, right? That's the main function. And Richard Hart was talking about, that's the best thing to have a blockchain fundamentals, in which you have a chain, or should I say an asset, that is censorship resistant. And you cannot censor vouch, you cannot censor Munex, you cannot censor PLS, right? So yeah, man, you could do this. If the front end will be done, you could have the smart contract. You just have to kind of technical on that one, right? So speaking of that one, can you Jax, maybe we could do later on with the IPFSH,
Mm.
interplanetary file system. Can you do that, like what Richard is doing with the main website, like PulseX
Yeah.
and
Uh,
Hex.com?
we do have one up and running. It's probably a little bit out of date with all the recent changes. What we do that's probably a little bit different to a lot of other projects is our front end is open source. So
Okay.
if you want to fire up our front end, you can literally go to our GitHub repository, download it, and run it. Doesn't need any special things running in the background. We've deliberately designed it so that if you want to run it yourself, you can. We don't have any back-end databases or anything. Everything we pull is live from the blockchain, which sometimes means, like say on our dashboard, it sometimes means it takes a little bit longer to load charts and things like that. But the reason it's doing that is it's going out and getting the data straight off the blockchain. It's not pulling it from a centralized database or anything. So that's one of the core things I've tried to do on our project is everything we do from a user front end perspective is actually that. I don't think that's no. Go to
I
vouch.
sorry. I
Vouch.
sorry, sorry. Okay.
Vouch run is our one. Yeah. So if you the way we've tried to do it is made it simple so that if you need to run the front end, you can run it anywhere. But yeah, there's nothing stopping us putting up an IPFS one as well. That's very doable.
Okay, cool, cool. Thank you for that one. Sorry, I think I got it wrong. So, guys, that was not a correct on GitHub. So that is vouch that run
Yeah,
on
don't
GitHub.
go to that one. Be careful which one you go to.
Yeah, indeed, indeed, man. I'm careful in doing this. So please, I'm
Yeah,
very sorry. So
no, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, indeed, indeed. Yeah, I think the chat is we're going into our 1 hour and 42 minute mark. Imagine that. So we're watching her on YouTube more or less. We have one on Asian TV. We have one and on MacB Crypto. We have three who are watching right now. So thank you so much, guys. I think for the closing, my brother Asian, he's good with closing remarks. Brother, you can do the closing on this one. All right, go ahead,
Well,
brother.
appreciate Jaxa for your detailed explanation on the upgrade. Like, thank
Mhm.
you. Big
Thank you.
round of applause for you. Then, well, like what you mentioned also, I think the current market is kind of quiet at this moment. Lot less noise. A lot of the movement shifted towards a lot of AI and other stuff, right? So I think again we need to refire our passion for all community holders to actually reach out to fresh blood, because it's the best entry of their lifetime compared to
Mhm.
so many of us in already in this ecosystem right now. Whether it's a pulse, whether it's bulge, I would say I had a look at the chart, right? So it's a good time for many people who haven't know about bulge yet. So yeah, once again, to end this out, and thank you, MacB, as well, my co-host of PulseAsianTV. So we built this. Yes, sometimes we, might miss a little bit due to some of the occasions happening in our countries, but we are still here. Be vocal about Porsche ecosystem, and sometimes inviting different builders from other chains to actually come to our channel to talk about what they build. And yeah, we are just here, trying to share what we could and the experiences we can learn from every other individuals. But lastly, no financial advice, NFA, and also do your own research. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks for having me
You
on,
did.
guys. It's been great.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you, brother Jexa, mate. Yeah, man. Again, guys, thank you for watching. This is your man, MacB Crypto, with my man, Asian on Pulse, together with Jexa. Bye for now. Bow!